Hello everybody, Curly Simmer here, and today I am doing a speed build for you all. This house I decided was just a small starter home, so your Sims will be able to purchase it and live in it from the beginning. With that being said, there was a lot of things that I wasn't able to add that I probably would have liked to. I had to go with a little bit of cheaper furniture, of course, and there wasn't as much furniture as I could add as I wanted. Um, but that's all right. I feel like that's kind of okay because that leaves room for you guys to um, place things in the house that would kind of uh, not necessarily represent, but that would match your Sim's personality a lot better. Um, this house is just one bedroom. It's one bedroom, one bathroom, and a kitchen, of course, and a dining room that's off of the uh, kitchen. There was also another thing with building a starter home. Not only did I have to use cheaper items, but I couldn't fill the rooms as much. So the bedroom, I'm not super in love with the bedroom, as you guys will see, but that's the best that's the best I could do with the amount of money that I had. For this house, um my idea for it was kind of a um I guess you could say like it was an older house that the people who are selling it, they kind of, put a slab of paint on it and called it, you know, good. So when picking the cabinets, I picked the cabinets. I believe they were from Cats and Dogs, I think, for the kitchen. I can't quite remember off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure they're from Cats and Dogs. Um, those, in my opinion, those cabinets look a little. I like to use them, but they look a little older, more dated, and so I picked a color that was a little bit more modern, as if they kept the same kitchen cabinets. They just kind of painted over them, and was like, okay, that's good. But yeah, so here I am just putting windows down, lots of windows. I chose, of course, a cheap flooring for everything. The doors, again, cheap, but whatever. Also, the layout of the house, the kitchen is fairly open, with the dining room. Because it is a older style house, the is not all open design. So the kitchen and dining room are kind of open, but then the living room is in its own room, and then of course the bedroom and bathroom are off of that. But I don't know, I personally prefer building smaller starter homes compared to uh, big modern houses, just because I find when I try and build multi-room houses, I get very overwhelmed, I guess. So here you're gonna see me struggle with the roof. That's one thing I have problems with, is building a roof that looks good and matches the um the house. So you can see here I'm trying to get it so that um the there's a big enough gap on that um roof part to put a window in it, just to add a little bit of variety, but I couldn't make it big enough with it to match up on the other roof so that it would align properly. But the the wallpaper I used, honestly, I think I wish I went with the yellow and red brick, the yellow paneling and the red brick. Um, the the green, I'm looking back at it, I'm not as huge of a fan as I was um, when I first picked it. I wanted to do a little bit there with the brick. I wanted to do a little bit of variety, but again, it didn't look right. So when it comes to building houses, I there's a couple things I struggle with, like I said before, starting off, just putting down that first room and then trying to build along with it. Variety in houses. So this house is very different to how I normally build my houses, the layout wise, but typically like not just with layout, but the wallpapers I use, the furniture I use a lot of the same stuff. So I tried really hard to have a variety and not use the same not do the same thing that I usually do. Um, but when it comes to building houses, there's a couple things I try and keep in mind. First of all, where is the house being built? Is it an area where it's more modern, to do a more modern style house? Is it in an area like Windenburg where all the houses are fairly themed around a similar idea, layout, colors used, textures, things like that, as well as who's buying the house, like the house I'm building, who's it intended for? So is it, like a bachelor, or is there such thing as a bachelorette pad? I don't know, but is it is it for, just a single sim? Is it for a family? Is it a starting? I mean, this house isn't really ideal because there's not a second bedroom to have a for your sims to have a kid or use it for something else, but is it a house that's, for sims that are going to be very family oriented, planning on having kids at, I wouldn't say at a young age, but like quickly? Um, is it, if I'm building a big house, like how many rooms am I going to need? So that's a big part of what I think about when building. As you see with the bedroom, I'm going to change subjects real quick. The bedroom, it's not anything special. I put those two paintings up there to fill the space, but they don't really match whatsoever. Like, of course, you don't want the same photo on the wall twice, but like you want to maybe pick the same color palette, and I obviously didn't, so I would probably change that next time. As well as there's nothing really interesting about the bedroom. It's literally the bed, the dresser, um, or the closet, I guess. Uh, bedside table. It's not that interesting. For the dining room, I actually really like how the idea of it, of having these half walls off the kitchen, so that the whole entire area is still kind of together, like your eating area and the food prep is still in one area, but you have the separation of the walls. So I do really like that. And I'm just adding in, I use this potted plant a lot actually. Um I I don't know, I really like it. So yeah, with those, like I said, with those cabinets, is they look a little bit dated but painted over so that it's like, brand new. Uh, Now I am moving on to the oh, I think at this point I was trying to find a little chair or bench, I guess, to put just beside the last kitchen counter and between the door, just maybe as like a little area for um as if you were to, you walk in or like you need to take off your shoes. So something like that. But I thought it was more of a bench than it was a cabinet, I guess. So I didn't end up using it. Um, and then yeah, I just put that little stool there. I really wish there was a small bench. Like I tried putting that little shoe rack there, but it didn't look right. So I ended up getting rid of it. And then now we're going into the living room, which, by the way, those tables that are 2x2 and circular, I don't know where to use them. Same with the rectangular ones. I think I used it in a build not too long ago, but I don't know where to use them. They are so big, and I just I have no idea what to do with them. They're big. They're very I don't even know how to describe it, but you need a huge room. And I feel like if you were to put the TV on it, or if you were to have it as a living room table, like the space between where your TV would sit and your Sims would. Oh yeah, by the way, there I wasn't actually putting the lights there. I was just playing around with them. But to the table, the space between the TV and where your Sims would sit and watch, I feel like it would be too far. But I don't know, that's just me. Now I'm putting these lights in because, first of all, I don't know if I overdo it with lights. I like to have the area where my sim is very bright, so I might have overdid it, but whatever. Putting a little calendar there. I wish there was more calendars. I use this pet calendar again. I used it in the house for Marissa, but I do like them. You know, it adds a little bit of um, realism to it. So here's the little screenshots. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and I will be hopefully um, putting out a new Marissa's story in a couple of days. I'm excited. Okay, bye guys.